I am continuing to show you some of the different databases that are available through LAUSD subscription databases. This particular one is Infobase, and I'm looking at it specifically for research around the lesbian and gay community. Again, I'm doing this for a class, and I have to be very focused, so I can't have the whole LGBTIQA plus. But any research questions you have, of course, I'm always happy to work with you to find answers to. This particular Infobase is great because they do break down their topics very clearly, so that unto itself can help you look at different the different topics and narrow your research question. So remember, a research question has to have sort of a certain context where you're looking at who, what, when, where, possibly, and within your overall topic. And a research question results in an original conclusion. It doesn't have to be a scientific discovery, but it has to be your own original take on a pre-existing issue. And then inquiry is more of your own original presentation of information that you found. You might not be drawing necessarily original conclusion, but you would be sharing the results of your inquiry, and that's a report, just a basic report. So if we click on history, you'll notice here that you can keep all of these selected, or you can deselect them, and you can go back and forth and manipulate them as you will to see if there are resources available. And if they're not here, it still might spark your research in another platform, in another place. If you're interested in, let's say, gay male history in the American Indian community, and there's not a lot here, for example, possibly, you could go elsewhere and continue that research. But just seeing this might give you some ideas of things that you want to research. So I would, if you wanted to look at gay men, which is what I'm going to use for this particular example, I would put a dash between gay and men, because what that does is it kind of more guarantees that you're going to get those together. And so, for example, here, if you are to look at these results, they should all have something to do with gay men. And let's see, I'll just put in Command F and put in gay, and it's telling me that it's going to show up here, and it does going to have something to do with gay and lesbian. So that just kind of guarantees that you're getting the results that you want. Infobase is a little peculiar. It doesn't have there's a home, but it doesn't never actually takes you home. So I'm just going to go back here again and look at some of the other products. If I were looking at Bloom's literature, I might play around with the term gay man. I also might play around with the term homosexual, just because there might be literature that from the past where that term might have been more likely to be used, that you would find stuff, so you can do that as well. And I'll look here, and just now I'll give you a little bit more of a notice of what we have in the results. So with every result, it tells you what's available to you. Obviously, if it's not lit up in blue, if it's grayed out, then you won't have it. This has a lot of different reference resources, and you can narrow those down over here as well. And then there's some literary criticism that has to do with homosexual dream and vision. You can see everything here is going to relate to that, and it will have to do with literature, because that's what we're looking at. We're looking at the literature, and there are even some videos. So again, just a way to start browsing through all of this stuff and find some things that you need. Let's say if we wanted to put, let's say, actually, I'm going to go back to the history one instead, and I'm going to add in gay men, and I put the "and" in all capitals, and that makes me able to join it together. And I'm actually going to put gay men and activism. So this is just another way that you can search this. And here now we're in history, and we can see that we get some interesting things about activism. So again, by using the dash, I made sure that it was gay and men, not just gay and not just men, which would give us too many results. I added in all caps and I added in that activism here to get a little bit more results, a little more and more targeted towards what I'm interested in. I wonder if I can use the not. Sometimes you can use I'm going to do in all caps not. And what if I just didn't want to have AIDS in it? If I didn't want AIDS, I didn't want to look at that topic specifically. So it looks like it did pull that out. I'm not seeing specifically AIDS anymore. So I put in gay men as a hyphen. I put in the "and." I put in activism, not AIDS, because let's say that's not what I want to look at this particular time. So there are a lot of other things here, like I said, in Infobase that you can look at. You can look at the issues and controversies. Unlike Gale, it is a binary. So every time you do that, let's say we do the same thing here. Let's just put in gay men. A lot of it will have a pro and a con. And it'll give you the supporters argue and the opponents argue. But of course, with any research, you're going to need to look at dissenting voices and consider them and address them accordingly, so that you can make your draw your conclusions with all the information and argue your point effectively by looking at all the sides. So that's a little bit about Infobase. I hope that's helpful to you. And again, you want to remember that you can, even though this does not have it does have an advanced search, but I don't like it. You can, make your searches a little bit bigger by using a dash to make sure you get all the words that you want, adding in a capital and a not, and to get an additional thing, and a not to exclude something that you're not interested in researching at this time. All right, I hope that helped.